Lawrence definitely has it very easy compared to me. Not saying that leaving the house and going to work isn't tiring.
Definitely certain days, if I'm like cleaning the house and the kids are being bad and I'm stressed out and everything's a mess and he's sitting there, I'm like in my head, like I want to like punch you in the face.
Even though he's not as helpful as he could be, he still does a hell of a lot providing, and there's no one else I would want to.
You know what though? I want to give Lily a big shout out on this one, because, you know, I feel like a lot of people nowadays don't really understand the responsibilities that we're supposed to have in our relationships. And in this one here, this is a relationship based on parenting. And to be honest, to be at such a young age, but also to be able to recognize certain things and appreciate certain things is a beautiful thing to say. Because here's the thing: she understands that he's the one that is working, he's the one that is providing. Okay, so therefore she understands that that means that of course she's going to be at home more. Well, she's going to be home all the time, and therefore she's going to be parenting far more than he's going to be. But even though she has said times can be a bit challenging and it can definitely make you feel, she still recognizes that at least she knows that he's still putting work in to make sure that she's provided for as well as the kids are provided for. So I love the fact that even though she can go through her own challenges, she still appreciates and understands the role that he's playing in their lives. That the role he's playing isn't a role where he's like intentionally trying to avoid being a dad, or he's just trying to avoid being there all the time. No, it's because he's out there working, grafting to make sure he can provide money and put food on the table for his family. So I like the fact that she's able to recognize that even when she is a bit stressed. That's a beautiful thing, because that's a rare thing in today's society. Not all people in this world can recognize, you know, the roles that we have in our relationships and the way the way that makes sense for it to be balanced out. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if they were both working, of course, things would be slightly different, but that's not the case. So shout out to Lily for actually pointing that out and also recognize that, because honestly, that shows a lot of growth. But nonetheless, though, well, it shows a lot of rareness into this world anyway, at least in the Western world. But let's continue.
Even now, we need a good 6 months before we're in a good place financially so we can save up to get married.
Even though we've been together for almost 4 years now, she's just still not on board with me getting married.
You see, here's the thing though, like, okay, if the mom is concerned about them being married because they're young, I can understand it to a certain degree, but it's been 4 years they've been together, and in that 4 years they've got a child, and they've been able to raise that child, and also they seem to have a healthy balance of understanding, obviously, their responsibilities when it comes to raising the child as well as also him working. So if you ask me personally, any couple that can go from being a couple and being happy to then having kids and still being happy, trust me when I tell you, that's a foundation that says it's a recipe for success, not a recipe for failure. But listen, I understand it. Sometimes when you get married, things can change. You know, the dynamics change, the pressures change, how we feel mentally changes. I get it. But here's the thing though. If getting married is something that they want to do, and if it's something that sadly then ends up not working out, well, it's just a life experience that they both would need to go through. So the mom saying no, or the mom not being on board, I understand it, but at the same time, the mom needs to accept it, because it is what it is. You know, I feel like right now they seem to have proven that they are quite solid. They have a solid foundation thus far. So let them do what they got to do. You know what I mean? Let them feel complete by having the marriage. But and plus they've been engaged for 3 years now too. So it's a bit of a mad one, or 2.5.
Don't climb on the table. Don't.
It's hard because I really try to do the just parenting. Like, hey, please don't.
But you do that for so long that everything's destroyed.
So here's the thing though. Now, obviously, when it comes to the parenting side of things, obviously, you know, she likes to go for the approach of being kind and, hey guys, da 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 da. Obviously, the kids aren't respond to that. Now, here's the thing. This is the areas where ideally you definitely need the man to be in the house, because obviously this is the role the man comes into. Obviously, you know, to basically declare authority. You know, to let it know that, listen, this is not what we're doing. You only need to learn how to behave. Blah 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 blah. You have to learn to respect your mother, blah, 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 blah. So don't get me wrong, in this part of their relationship, she definitely needs more support from her partner. He definitely needs to come in and be that person that's going to be the bad cop, you know, and let there be known that there's authority in this house. And if you continue doing this, you're going to be in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I don't want none of you stressing mom out just because mom is soft and nice. Don't be doing that. This is what I'm saying. So realistically, in this situation, or in this area, this is an area that I would say that they definitely need to improve on, you know, and I feel like it's an area that obviously he needs to be more actively involved in. So whenever he's around the kids, he has to make sure that they are listening and all that kind of stuff and da. Because really and truly, it shouldn't really be her mum coming in and saying, well, you're soft or you're this and that. This is a conversation that these two need to have, and they need to find a way around it, because at the end of the day, when you have kids, it's all about figuring it out on your way. But nonetheless, though, let's move on to the next couple.
Is everybody coming with us?
Yes.
Hey, Jay.
I just want to say, first and foremost, I found this whole scene here with Naya and Daquan's family freaking wholesome. We live in a world now where not everybody has the luxury of being pregnant. I mean, I know obviously they're pregnant underage, don't get it twisted, but not everybody has the luxury of being pregnant and everybody from their family coming out to support. You know what I mean? I feel like this is absolutely beautiful because, you know, especially if you're young and you're having a kid, you know, and you're pregnant, I can't imagine obviously how you're going to feel that moment in time. You listen, some people may be excited about it. Some people may be nervous about it. I think everybody is going to be nervous about it. Everybody's going to have a level of anxiety 1000%. But obviously some people, it's going to happen in different ways because obviously they don't know how they're going to cope. They don't know what support system they're going to have around them. They don't know if they're going to have to do this all by themselves, all that kind of stuff. So to be honest, the fact that the whole family, or at least the majority of the family, is there to support, I think it's a beautiful thing, and it's something that I feel like should happen more often when somebody gets pregnant, because really and truly, feeling as if like you're going to have plenty of people around you to always be there to help you, I feel like, to be honest, it's one of the best introductions into being a parent, rather than introduction of going through this whole process all alone, and you're like, damn, I'm going to be doing this all by myself, or it's just going to be the two of us, which, to be fair, that is fine, generally speaking. But if you're by yourself now, do you see what I'm saying? So I love the fact that the whole family came out to support, to be honest with you. But I hope the family isn't too supportive when the baby comes up, because of course, when you become a parent, it's all, you know, you learn the responsibility as it goes. And obviously learning that responsibility, sometimes you got to be able to do by yourself or do it with your partner, not be like, hold on a minute, the baby's crying, I can't hack it, hey mom, take it. You know what I mean? That's not something that's going to help you as a parent, do you know what I mean? Because that means you are removing the responsibility of you growing as a parent and putting it onto somebody else, and that's just not fair. So I hope that isn't necessarily going to be the case. But either way, though, this bit here, I thought it was awesome. But let's continue.
Most of these guys don't take care of their children.
No, we can help. I'm sorry. I try my best.
So I'm going to be very involved in raising Elias.
I mean, listen, I get the mom's going to be there, but I hope the mom isn't going to be there too much. But Anaya, on the other hand, well, her reaction tells me something else.
Because you mama number two. You don't really have a choice.
But the fact that Anaya's sister says that your mama number two, you don't really have a choice, and she also adds in the saying that I'm going to be living with you anyway. So I think it's a bit of a that Anaya expects mom to always be there to support and help her when the baby comes, because it just means that it goes back to what I was saying before. When it comes to some responsibilities that she won't be able to hack, or she won't be wanting to learn from, she's going to be like, hey, mom, you deal with it. And that's something that I hope doesn't happen. I hope the mom says, hey, you're the mother. You need to learn how you're going to take responsibility in this situation. I can't be a doof all the time, because that's always going to be very key. Because I think the key thing about it is that it helps you understand yourself as well, because you're also growing as a person yourself in that situation, if you dig what I'm saying. But nonetheless, though, let's continue.
Hey, I'm in triage.
The doctor thinks that I have preeclampsia. I don't know either, but from the looks of the doctor's faces and what they're saying, I know that it's not good. It's not a good thing to have.
The nurse, she took my blood and she said the results will determine if they induce me or not.
I would have to have my baby right now, but I don't want to be induced at all whatsoever.
I mean, listen, I don't know too much about this area, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? In fact, I know nothing about this area. But I'm going to say, based on her reaction, it's something that wasn't, it's bad news, but it's not the worst news, because it seems to me, based on energy, she knows the baby's still going to come anyway at some point. The baby's going to be healthy and she's going to be fine. So because of that positive energy, I'm just going to go off the sun and say, you know what? Things are probably going to be a-okay. But it is sad that she is going through some form of a complication or a challenge, because really and truly, when you're pregnant, you want everything to go smoothly. Because I know a lot of women suffer with a lot of anxiety when they're pregnant, because they worry so much about things going wrong. They worry so much about so many different things. So, you know, it's good to see that even though she's going for a time where she's receiving information that is not good information, that she still be able to she's still able to respond in a positive way. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's what I love about Night. Her energy is so freaking positive. It's so bubbly. I love it. And I hope the energy stays the same even when the baby comes and she goes for those challenging times, because that energy that she has, I feel it's going to be a very massive positive impact on the way she's going to become a parent. And it's also going to bounce off of her kids so amazingly. So I really hope that she keeps that. But nonetheless, though, let's move on to the next couple.
It has to be acceptant of Luca. And I mean, at 19 years old, I was in the Marine Corps at the time, but I wasn't ready to be a father.
All right, boom. So obviously Jenna's dad is a bit concerned with the fact that obviously his daughter's now moving all the way to another state to be with JJ. And here's the thing, JJ's only 19, you know what I mean? Obviously very young people. The thing that I couldn't figure out is how the hell has JJ got his own apartment already? That kind of blew my mind. I was thinking, hold on a minute, she's moved in with him, with a kid, and he's got a whole apartment to himself? Where's he getting the money from? I mean, that kind of blew my mind, to be honest with you. But I can understand where that's coming from. He's saying, listen, I was 19 too. And as a man, when I was 19, being a parent was not something that I cared about. I cared about just living life. So therefore, I can understand the dad having a concern about JJ's involvement moving forward. But to be fair, respectfully, the dad said that, listen, I've had a long drive, you know, so I'm going to give into Thanksgiving. And then obviously, then I will give an actual assessment right now. I know my mind is, my mind, wait, no, what is it? My mind is, what? No. Clouded. My judgment is clouded right now, so therefore I'm going to give it time, and then I'm going to obviously, you know, see how I feel with JJ. And respectfully, I like the fact that that did do that. But to be honest with you, it is still a massive question. I'm not going to say concern right now, because then that means I'm judging too. So I want to say it is a massive question though. Is JJ ready to be a co-parent to a child that one isn't his, and also on top of that, you know, that they are still both very young. But hey, listen, they've got a history. They've got a history of being each other's first and everything but the bedroom. So obviously they do have a lot of things that they, you know, but I mean, if I was JJ though, and I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, I should have been your first. I know I moved away, but then somebody else is your first, and that person got you pregnant, and that person didn't run away, and now I'm here back again with you. But now I'm gonna have to look after your Yeah, the situation is, I mean, when you think about it from a male point of view, it's not something that I could do personally. Definitely not at 19. That's for sure. It's not happening. You know what I mean? So I can understand the dad's concerns, but at the same time, I like and respect the fact that he's going to give it time before he gives an actual full judgment. So, hey, ho. But nonetheless, though, I guess we'll see how things turn out for JJ and Jenna as the season continues. But with that being said, let's move on to the last couple.
To make an effort to be a part of my life. And as her child, I don't think it's my responsibility to be the bigger person in this situation.
So this is EMALEE talking about her own mother, about her mother walking out and pretty much abandoning her and obviously not making an effort. And listen, respectfully, I love what she's saying. It makes a lot of sense, followed by what she says next.
But to us not ever talking at all. The main thing in my life that has caused me the most pain and trauma, I want to be a mother more, so I can give my kid everything that I never got emotionally from my own mom.
So I like the fact that she recognizes what she did not get from her mom. And I guess that's the emotional support amongst other things that also women would like to have from their mothers that fathers simply can't do because our bodies are completely different. So I like the fact that obviously she's using her trauma in a way that's going to help her go forward as a mother, rather than a trauma that she's going to use to weaponize her attitude. Because a lot of people use trauma as a way to weaponize attitude, or a lot of people use, what do you call it, a neglect, where they weaponize being neglected and, you know, they use it as X, Y, Z. But EMALEE's not in that way. She's like, listen, I know what's happened to me. I've recognized it. And I want to make sure that now I'm going to be a mother, I'm going to do everything that my mom didn't do. You know, I'm going to be the best parent possible. And I love that energy. I just hope that she doesn't become one of these parents where she's then extra soft because, you know, but some people, when they become parents, they become extra soft to their kids because they don't want to be like their parents. You know what I mean? And that's never a good thing. So I hope that she finds the correct balance that she's looking for, obviously, as she moves into motherhood. But either way, though, I like the fact that her trauma is something that is motivator for something that is good rather than something that is bad. Yeah.
Like immediately after Wesley's born, I think I'm gonna stay at Nate's house. That way I have Nate there 24/7 for his help, so she can kind of give me that motherly help. Give a little bit more advice and help with me and the baby rather than my dad, because Karen's breastfed.
Listen, I respect the fact that EMALEE believes that moving in with Nate and Nate's mum is going to be the best action moving forward, you know, and purely because she obviously, Nate's mum's there, and obviously as a mum, she's going to understand the transition of the body, all that kind of stuff. I mean, listen, would I say it's essential for her to move out, and would I say it's yeah, would I say it's essential for her to move out? Would I say that it's necessary for her to move out? Would I say that she's going to benefit from moving out and being around Nate's mom because she's a woman and her dad's a man? I mean, listen, I feel like that's quite a subjective thing, isn't it? Because there's benefits you're going to get from staying at home with your daddy, and there's also benefits you're going to get from moving out and being with Nate's mom. Because really and truly, your dad was still able to raise kids, you know what I mean? And he's done a great job. Well, I don't know if he's done a great job, but he's been able to do it. Do you see what I'm saying? So it clearly says that he has a qualification to still be able to help you. But if she feels like it's going to be easier being around another woman, then you know what? I guess it's one of those things that is it's something that is worth trying out. You know what I mean? I don't think that she's going to be wrong for moving in with Nate's mom. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, let's continue.
I have reservations with letting my son's girlfriend move in. But at the same time, I want Nate to be involved and I want them to be able to raise their baby together.
Anything really that her and I have had any like headbutting about is she wants to take time off from school.
Yeah, I found that quite strange, to be honest with you. Like, she doesn't need to take time off for school because at the end of the day, she's got a very good, solid support system. She's got Nate's mom to be there. She's also got her dad to be there. And when I say that, what I mean is these are two people who will be able to, when they can, be able to look after their child while she goes to school and continues to pursue whatever she wants to do in this life. Her taking some time off school, let's be real. The moment that she starts taking time off school is the moment that she's not going to go back. It's just that simple. She's going to get comfortable with being at home all the time, and then she can get comfortable with the idea of being a mom all the time, and end of the day, going back to school is just not going to feel applicable all the time, especially when she realizes the responsibilities she's going to have as a parent. And obviously, when she recognizes those responsibilities, the anxiety of not being there for her child and going to school and putting herself first in any kind of format is one of those things that she's going to struggle to do. And I feel like that's something a lot of women struggle to do when they become parents. Trying to do things for yourselves is something that they do struggle, in my humble opinion. Not all women, but some women do, because they're like, damn, can I really afford to put myself first in front of my child right now? Because I know if I leave, my child might do this, they might do that. Can I trust this person to do this? Da 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 da. So there is always the comfortable factor that she may get used to. So I'm with Nate's mom on this one, Taryn, that she should still continue to go to school because she has a support system that's willing to look after their child when she's at school. So and Emily needs to go to school. I'm going to support that.
And I don't like it.
She has a right to her own opinions, but at the end of the day, she has to realize that it's mine and Nate's life and our baby, and that we will do whatever we want.
But hey, Emily's got an attitude though, so good luck with that one. I mean, listen, I hope being a parent will help humble her attitude, because her attitude is a bit of a sticky one sometimes, and it doesn't really, it's not an attitude that gives me, it's an attitude that gives me a little bit of doubts of how things are going to be to a certain degree. Nothing dramatic, you know what I mean? But yeah, that attitude needs to be humbled, you know what I mean? The dad, his face is like, well, yeah, I'm used to this. And maybe this is why she's going to benefit from being around a woman. Maybe Nate's mom can help humble her attitude, you know, because maybe the dad, he's done what he can, and he's just like, you know what, It is what it is though. Either way though, let me know your thoughts, let me know your opinions, and we can talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.